Hello, everybody. Oh my God, this has been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, so I'm back. Not properly, so this is like a one-off event, if we want to call it that, I think. Um, so for those of you who know me, hello. For those of you who don't, honestly, it has been a while since I've done this. So quick background about myself. So my YouTube, Twitter, Instagram handle is CK61938, which stands for Clark Kent, June 1938. Obviously, June 1938 was the essential publication date of when Action Comics #1 featuring Superman was released. It was actually April of 1938, but it had the June date on the cover instead. So there you go. There's a background about me. So what did I used to do before? I've done a lot of videos in the past. I started off doing YouTube reviews for Smallville, and it's pretty much sort of kicked off from there. We're talking about almost a decade ago now. So it all kicked off from there. And when Smallville finished, I was trying to find stuff to do in between. I also did some movie reviews as well. I did reviews on comic books. I've even done a bit of, geek news as well to fill the gaps, as it were. And then I did, when Arrow started, I started reviewing Arrow. I think I must have done maybe the first 2 seasons. And then I did the first season of Flash. I think I must have done about a handful of episodes of Gotham. Same thing for Constantine as well. A bit of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in there as well. So, and other bits and pieces of geek-related stuff going on as well. So honestly, if you haven't seen them, check them out and let me know what you think. And there's even some real-life videos in there as well. So there's a few that you'll get a good laugh out of. There's one particular video of me absolutely drunk. So yeah, enjoy that one. Anyway, moving on. So, hi, hello. Goodness me, this has been a while, hasn't it? So you can see that I'm donning the Superman Kingdom Come t-shirt, and there's a reason for that. I will get to it because you kind of know what this video is about anyway. But before I do, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody who have been following me on Twitter and Instagram, because part of me wanted to do this video and another part of me was saying, oh, do you really want to do this video? Why do you want to do this video? Why do you need to make it? But I was like, with all the news that is coming out so far of Crisis on Infinite Earths, I thought to myself, you know what? The excitement is starting to build up really at quick pace, essentially. And I thought to myself, you know what, maybe part of me should do a video. And someone even asked me on Instagram, are you going to do a video on this? And I was like, yeah, part of me wants to. And I said the same thing on Twitter, and everybody was saying, you know what, do it. Because it's been a long time since we've seen your videos. Some of them are saying how my Smallville reviews are some of the best that they've seen. Of course, if you've seen season 10 of Smallville, you'll know that things sort of went a bit downhill and then started to go back up as well. But yeah, less said of that, the better. But again, if you want to check out some videos about that, please go ahead. So before I get right into all of it, if you're wondering about the setup behind me, by the way, so I moved in with my fiance about November of last year, so nearly this time last year, and basically this is her wardrobe. So these are all her clothes lined up behind me, a stack of shoes up there as well as down there. So yeah, she's got all her bits and pieces here. So all I've got on this side, which you can't see, is I've got my Man of Steel poster right in front of me up there. I've got my notice board up there, which is also my Superman notice board. Both of my computers, one that I'm obviously talking to you through as well, my gaming PC's next to me, and that's essentially all I have. There's a couple of Funko Pop toys hidden in the back behind one of the monitors here as well. But basically, majority of my stuff, like 90% of all my stuff, is in storage. That includes my comic books, my graphic novels, my Funko Pop toys, all the others that I've accumulated over time, and basically everything that belongs to me. So my DVDs, my Blu-rays, they're all in storage. So forgive the background, okay? This is my Mrs. Wardrobe, as I like to call it. and just, yeah, we are looking to move into a bigger place. So I'm hoping that I will get my very own Fortress of Solitude when that happens. So again, when that happens, who knows, maybe I'll get back into the swing of doing videos again properly. There's even part of me wants to do a podcast, because I've been listening to some podcasts lately, most notably the Suicide SquadCast network, which consists of 4 separate podcast teams. You've got the DCTV Squadcast, where they talk about everything to do with the Arrowverse and other bits and pieces like Krypton and Gotham and other DC related shows. You've also got the DC Comics Squadcast, where they basically talk about DC Comics, the comic books and such, and graphic novels, I would imagine. You've also got Fans Without Borders, where they essentially go outside of the DC universe but still stay within the geek world. So they talk about things like Marvel and other bits and pieces, all geek related in that sense. And obviously the biggest one, Suicide Squad Cast, where they talk about, essentially they do all the movie related stuff. They talk about all the DCEU and other bits and pieces relating to DC and Warner Brothers movies and such as well. So it's a pretty good setup that they've got. Honestly, if you haven't listened to them, seriously, go listen to them. I think I've been listening to them for about the past 6 months, maybe a bit longer. I think from the beginning of this year was when I started listening to them, maybe back end of last year. So they're an interesting bunch. You've got Tim and Scott, who do the Squadcast, the Suicide Squadcast. Brent and Ray, who do, Brent and Ray, who do Fans Without Borders. Jordan and Chris do the DC Comics, and Ray is now currently doing the DC TV Squadcast with pretty much just about everybody in the team. So they've all been doing a revolving door of hosts for the DC TV Squadcast, because it used to be Ray and Brent, but then Brent has gone on hiatus. He's only doing the Fans Without Borders and stuff. So yeah, but it's still a good setup that they've got. Like I said, Suicide Squadcast, again, I'll put all the information down below, so you can check them out if you want. So yeah, like I say, myself, I am thinking about going into podcasts, but again, who knows? Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I am seriously thinking about it. Anyway, God, this video is going to be very long. I do apologize. It's 7.5 minutes long already, maybe even longer. And I haven't actually got into the reason of why I'm actually doing this video. My goodness, you guys have not missed me, I have to say. And I've missed doing this, to be fair. If I'm going to be honest, I have missed doing this. So you know what I'm like. Those of you who have followed me from the beginning, I mean, I'm talking about way back in 2008. For those of you who followed me from the very first Marvel review that I did, yeah, you know what I'm like. I ramble. That's who I do. That's what I do. I ramble. I go off topic, and then eventually, when I realize how off topic I've gone, I then bring myself back to the topic itself. So anyway, so what should we start off with? Well, let's start off with the fact that Crisis on Infinite Earths, the biggest crossover that the CW, Greg Berlanti, Mark Guggenheim, Jeff Johns, and everybody else involved have ever decided to do. Because the very first crossover that we got was way back in 2014-15. Flash versus Arrow, or Arrow versus the Flash. That was a 2-parter. Then we had the second crossover. Oh my God, it's completely slipped my mind now. I'm not talking about the one where the Flash goes to Earth 38, which is where Supergirl is. I'm talking about the, oh goodness me, which one was it? So I know I should have prepared about this in the first instance. So the Arrowverse crossovers. So the very first one, like I say, was Flash versus Arrow. And then after that, you had Heroes Join Forces. So this was where we saw the introduction of Legends for the Legends of Tomorrow, where Hawkman and Hawkgirl arrive as well and take on Vandal Savage with the help of the Arrowverse team, which include Flash and obviously Green Arrow. And then you got World's Finest, which is where Flash meets Supergirl. And then Invasion, this was so the Heroes Joining Forces and World's Finest was 2015, 2016. Then Invasion, which was a three-parter, which crosses Green Arrow, Flash, and I think it was Supergirl as well, plus the Legends of Tomorrow. So all three of them, all four shows eventually sort of crossed into that world because they brought Supergirl from her universe into the Arrowverse, essentially. And then a small one happened that same season, Duet, where the Flash and Supergirl meet up again to face off against the Music Meister. And then the big one at the time, 2017, 2018, which involved all four shows, Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow, Crisis on Earth X. We all remember how that one went down. Then Elseworlds, which you had basically John Wesley Shipp appearing and reprising his role of Barry Allen from the 90s Flash series. And there was a three-parter this time, and it was just Supergirl, Flash, and Arrow. The Legends did their own thing at the time. But just going back quickly on the Invasion, which is where we first saw the Dominators. So that was really good. I really enjoyed that one. And then obviously Crisis on Earth X, where we saw Nazi versions of Supergirl, Arrow, and a few other characters in there. And we also saw obviously the return of Eobard Thawne, and the Freedom Fighters, which was the Ray, was it heavily involved in that as well. So Crisis on Earth X was pretty good. And as I say, obviously last season was Elseworlds, and then that's when they teased Crisis on Infinite Earths, because we were introduced in Elseworlds. Not only did we have obviously Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Superman as well, Lois Lane was introduced. We even then saw Psycho Pirate, and of course none other than Batwoman. And that starts next week as well. So then you've also got, who else was I going to mention? The Monitor. Obviously the Monitor featured heavily in Elseworlds, and again obviously he's going to appear again in Crisis on Infinite Earths. And with this season also being the final season for Arrow, 10 episodes long, means that we're obviously going to see a lot of involvement regarding Crisis, and everything's going to run up to Crisis on Infinite Earths. So this is going to be a 5-part crossover. Like I say, this is something that's never been done before. I've never seen anything like this on TV, if I'm going to be totally honest. So we're going to have a 5-show crossover of Batwoman, Supergirl, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and The Flash. But we're also going to be getting characters from Black Lightning and Smallville. Yes, you heard me. I said Smallville. Because earlier this week, it was announced that both Tom Welling and Erica Durance, aka Clark Kent and Lois Lane of Smallville, will be appearing on Crisis on Infinite Earths. So much so that Erica posted a picture of herself and Tom at the Kent farm. It was one of those things where you just have to pinch yourself and say, is this really happening? And guess what? It is happening. My only disappointment is we're not getting Michael Rosenbaum back as Lex Luthor, because he posted a tweet this week basically saying that Warner's weren't going to offer him any money or a script. Maybe the script hasn't been given to anybody, which is fine. I get that. But if you're not going to offer him any, give him a lucrative deal in that respect, of course he's going to pass on it, which is what he did. He passed on it. I don't know what offers were given to both Tom and Erica. I have no idea what happened there and what was agreed. But the fact that Michael posted on Twitter that this is what Warner said to me, and I said, no, sorry, you either give me what I'm worth or I'm just not going to do it at all. So unfortunately, we're not going to see Smallville's Lex Luthor make an appearance on Crisis on Infinite Earths. Or maybe this is just a ruse and we're going to get surprised. Who knows? But I don't think we're going to see Rosenbaum on Crisis, which is a real shame. It's a real shame because those three characters, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and obviously Lex Luthor from Smallville, yeah, it's one of the reasons why we enjoyed the show, because of those three. However, that being said, now it was announced way back in June, July, that when Crisis on Infinite Earths was going to be coming, because it was actually teased, as I say, at the back end of Elseworlds last season. So when Crisis on Infinite Earths was coming, it was announced that Brandon Routh was going to be playing Superman. But not just any old Superman. No, 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 no. He's going to play Earth 22, Kingdom Come Superman. And at that point, I sort of sat back and I thought, this guy's finally getting his break. Because Superman Returns, we all remember what happened with that. And then his career, I wouldn't say it took a nosedive, it just went quiet. He appeared on Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He did a film called Dylan Dog as well. And then he's done a few other things as well in between. And then he appears on Arrow as Ray Palmer, aka the Atom. And I thought to myself, finally, he's now putting himself out there. He's now getting more screen time and such. And Legends, then he transfers over to Legends, and he's been doing so well. Brandon Routh has been doing really well as Ray Palmer on Legends. But when it was announced that he was going to be Kingdom Come Superman, I think I just thought to myself, wow, this guy deserves it. And then yesterday came the point of where I just lost it myself. I was just like, this is really happening. And we saw the very first picture of Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman. And let me tell you, oh my God, it is epic. And then he released a second photo of himself reminiscent of that. And I even posted this on Twitter and Instagram, basically quoting Lex Luthor from Superman Returns. See anything familiar? Because it looks just like Alex Ross's version of Kingdom Come Superman, standing in front of the Justice Society of America with his hands crossed, looking down, and you could just see that just the similarities to it was just amazing, just absolutely amazing. And at that point, I just thought, wow, this is actually happening. He's in the suit. He looks amazing. He really does look the business. And part of me feels bad for him because this could have been something that could have been done in the movies. You know, it could have been done in the movies. We could have had a Kingdom Come Superman if it was done properly. And it looks like the CW are going to do it the right way. And the other thing is they're pulling out all the stops at the CW, because not only are we getting Clark Kent, aka Tom Welling, Lois Lane, Erica Durance, we're getting Elizabeth Tulloch's Lois Lane, we're getting Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. We're obviously going to get Melissa Benoist's Supergirl. We're getting Stephen Amell's Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, Barry Gustine's The Flash. But on top of all that, we're getting Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne. Kevin fucking Conroy is appearing on Crisis as Bruce Wayne. Then on top of that, who else are we getting? We're getting a lot of people. As I say, Black Lightning's appearing. We're getting Black Lightning on Crisis. So that tells us that maybe Black Lightning's in the same universe as the Arrowverse. It hasn't been confirmed nor denied that that's happening, but it could well be that they are in the same universe. And obviously Batwoman. Ruby Rose as Batwoman. We saw her last season in Elseworlds, and she made a good impression for the very few minutes that she was on. And then obviously, as I say, Batwoman kicks off next Sunday in the States. I think it's after Supergirl, so Supergirl and Batwoman on the same night, which I'm looking forward to as well. So yeah, Batwoman's going to be there. We've even got the original Huntress from the Birds of Prey series from way back when, about 10, 15 years ago, I think it was. So yeah, she's appearing. And I posted a tweet and said, right, if you're going to bring on the original Huntress from Birds of Prey, you might as well bring on Dina Meyer, who played Barbara Gordon, aka Oracle, aka Batgirl, on Birds of Prey as well. Because interestingly enough, the woman who also played Dinah Lance in Birds of Prey is playing Alice in Batwoman. Talk about legacy casting, because it's all tying together, isn't it? It's just all tying together. So yeah, I'm pumped. I didn't think I was going to be, but with the amount of casting news that we have had, and I think the tipping point for me was Tom Welling and Erica Durance. Obviously, I'm still not happy that Michael's not going to appear. But then seeing Brandon in the Kingdom Come suit was just, that was it. That was the tip of the iceberg for me. And I thought, right, fantastic, looks good, looks amazing. So I cannot wait for December. It's a real shame because we're getting the first 3 parts in December, and then the 4th and 5th parts won't appear until January 2020. So we're going to have to wait a month till the conclusion of the crossover, which is a real shame because then Arrow won't finish until January 2020. Obviously what they normally do is they show the first 9 episodes and then they go for their break, come back, show about 2, maybe 3 episodes between November and December, and then they break for, you know, Christmas, New Year, and then a month after that, then we continue as normal, and then still a few breaks in between and whatnot. But this is going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how all this pans out, how it all unfolds, because I think one of the reasons we know why they're doing the Crisis on Infinite Earths is because Supergirl's in Earth 38, and it's a question. This is their way of bringing her into the Arrowverse. That's essentially what they're doing, because if you've read Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was released way back in 1984, 85, I think it was, that was the reason why that was done, because there was a multitude of all these different versions of these characters and all these different universes that they decided to do. All this Crisis was basically their way of essentially rebooting the universe. And then they rebooted it once, and they rebooted it again, and they've rebooted it again with Rebirth. Obviously, the New 52 was the last reboot, I think it was. And now, obviously, we've got, as I say, Rebirth has now been essentially the soft reboot. So, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. But, no, like I say, I am looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm that excited that I think I'm actually going to watch these shows live whilst they're being aired in the States. I don't think I can wait for the next day to watch them after everybody else, because I'll probably run into spoilers at some point. So I'd rather probably watch them live and then, yeah, enjoy it with everybody else as well. You know, I won't post any spoilers, obviously. But what I'm also going to be doing in the run-up to, well, actually, what I'm going to do is, so from next Monday, no, not this Monday coming, sorry, Monday, 7th of October, I'm going to be posting old reviews from my YouTube channel. So I'll be posting them onto Twitter, basically. So there'll be old reviews of Smallville, Flash, and Arrow. Okay, you may get surprise episodes such as Absolute Justice from Smallville. We also had Justice from Smallville in season 6, I believe that was. Absolute Justice was season 9. Obviously, the Flash and Arrow crossovers as well. So, yeah, I will add in some interesting reviews in there. So every Monday, up until the very end of the crossover, so after the last episode of the final crossover episode, I will be posting a review on Twitter. So if you guys want to watch them, by all means you can do. And then, yeah, we're just gonna ride this roller coaster right now. We're just gonna enjoy this ride until the crossovers finish, and then who knows what happens from next season, because it's now been announced that we're going to get a female-led Arrowverse team. So basically the female characters from the Arrow show. So I'm guessing the likes of Black Siren, Black Canary, and also obviously Mia Smoke from the future as well. So who knows how that's all going to happen, but I'm looking forward to that. If they do call it Birds of Prey, I don't have a problem with that. So I'm going to end it there. Goodness me, I have been talking for a long time. If you have sat watching this for all this time, wow, all I'm going to say is kudos to you guys, because you know what I'm like. Like I say, I do ramble. I go on and on and on. Like I say, goodness me, a return to the norm. I have missed this. So before this hits 30 minutes, because I don't want it to hit 30 minutes, I am going to finish it there. But all I'll say is thank you all very much. It has been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Obviously, as I say, I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. So I'll pop my profile pages down below as well, so you can follow me if you want, and yeah, whatever. Anyway, I am going to stop it there. Thank you all very much. See you all very soon. Bye.